Hello again, and welcome to the LawyerFair Daily Podcast. My name is Andrew Weaver. I'm the CEO at LawyerFair. And those of you who do follow this podcast more closely than others, and that really only numbers, I think, my mother and a couple of close friends. But those of you who do follow this podcast very closely will know that we go off on a tangent sometimes into various business ideas and concepts and entrepreneurs. But today we're bringing it back to what is really our core, and that's legal services. And I'm very, very pleased to be joined today by Helene Russell. Welcome, Helene.
Good afternoon.
Hiya. Hello. Thank you for joining us. Now, Helene's a former lawyer, actually. I didn't check this before we started chatting, but you were a lawyer at one stage, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. I practiced for about 7 years in clinical negligence defence work.
Okay. And having done that, Helene's now an author and a trainer in knowledge management for law firms, and soon to be published book called A Year of Living Knowledgeably.
That's right, yeah.
I like the title very much. I think that's great. Which is a projects book with 12 low-cost KM projects that I'm reading from a script here slightly. So it's a projects book with 12 low-cost KM projects suitable for mid-sized law firms. Is that right?
That's right. The idea is that people can pick up a project every month and give it a try because it doesn't cost very much to do. And maybe some will work and maybe some won't. But the idea is to give lots and lots of different options for people to try and have a year of living very knowledgeably.
Well, listen, give us a bit more background because we deal with a lot of law firms, and I think it's a very interesting subject because, I mean, where do you think they are doing it badly or incorrectly, or perhaps without the knowledge of what to do? What mistakes are being made, and what do you think they should be doing to change?
Sure. I mean, I get a lot of law firms approaching me on the consultancy side, and a lot of them are talking about their IT systems, that they're unhappy with their search, they're unhappy with their databases. And an awful lot of lawyers out there are equating knowledge management with IT. And I guess the first thing that I have to explain to them is that knowledge management is much, much wider than content management. For lawyers, it's really important that they get their content management right. You know, all your practicing fee earners do need access to the right precedents at the right moment when they're at their desk in the middle of their work. But knowledge management as a whole is about all kinds of different things to do with knowledge. So it includes things like knowledge creation. So it's about learning, training. It's about connecting your people so that they can learn from each other. It's about people working together so that they can pick up top tips from each other. And then it is about curation of knowledge, but it's also about connecting your people so that they can have conversations, so they can build trusting networks, so that in the future, when they need some knowledge, they know exactly who to talk to, and they have that relationship already built up so that they can then have a worthwhile conversation and get to the real essence of the knowledge that they need from that person.
And are those conversations that are internal and external, Helene?
Yeah, I mean, I think lawyers aren't that bad at creating good networks outside because a lot of them see the benefit in terms of getting new clients in, put simply. But I think they're not quite so good at seeing the value in connecting their people internally. Now, for very small firms, it's not as important. But once you get to a certain size in mid-sized firms, then you get a lot of people who start working in a very siloed way. So, for example, the people who maybe are in your clinical negligence team might not talk very much to the people in your commercial litigation teams, but they actually have quite a lot to learn from each other about the project management aspect of litigation, about about CPR and all kinds of different things to do with managing clients through a litigation process. So there's lots of knowledge to be shared, but sometimes you get to a certain size in a law firm and people don't invest in that relationship building.
And I think you mentioned in discussion before we were recording, and also law firms tend to focus on databases and search.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a far richer source of information, isn't there, available?
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people are investing a lot of money in databases and search when in fact, probably their IT systems aren't that bad. Maybe they need some tweaking, but they could probably get a far bigger return on their investment if they focused on some different aspects of knowledge management.
Now, I also saw in some notes you sent me through that you referred to the potential of artificial intelligence.
Yeah, no,
Well, I was only going to say I interviewed someone from the States last week on our daily podcast who is developing software that relates to cognitive augmentation.
yeah.
And I find it difficult to say, let alone to understand. So you come up with it with the AI comment. I mean, I'm assuming at the moment there aren't many early adopters in the
I'm
legal
sorry,
world.
Andrew. I think you've disappeared from my end.
Oh, don't worry. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes.
Sorry, well, that shows whoever's listening. This is live and real. We lost our connection. No, I was going to say that I'm imagining there aren't that many people at the moment in the legal world who are adopting any form of AI or even showing any interest in it. What's the current conversation around that subject?
Well, you're quite right. I think people like me get very, very excited by the potential of artificial intelligence and natural language computing and search. But I mean, I as well as my work as an author and a trainer, I also run a networking knowledge sharing group for knowledge management people in law firms. And I do an annual survey. And this year I've included artificial intelligence as one of the things on the survey about what people are thinking about for the next 3 or so years. And I have to say, not a single person has ticked the box to say they are interested in investigating AI. People are still looking at the things that we all find difficult, getting your content management right, getting your culture right, getting your knowledge sharing right. And people are starting to look into legal project management and process management. So those are the things that people are still finding difficult and are looking at for the next few years. So I think people like me get very excited by artificial intelligence, and there's certainly lots going on and lots to read. But really, I think, at people's desks, people are not terribly interested in it.
No, well, I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? I mean, people are trying to generate business and make their businesses work and grapple with what are relatively, I suppose, simple forms of technology are still taking some time to embed in the legal community and wider communities. So yes, something like AI probably seems extremely daunting and far off to most. But it's so. So what I'm going to do actually with the notes to do with this podcast, Helene, I'm going to reference a couple of things that people can look at. Did you say it was Knowledge Network West? Is the knowledge sharing group that
yes, it is. Yes, at the moment we're just based in Bristol, but I'm opening up groups in Birmingham and Manchester soon.
Fantastic. Okay, and obviously the book A Year of Living Knowledgeably. When's that due out?
Well, I'm just finishing it at the moment,
Okay.
So it'll be a couple of months at least. So it'll be autumn time, and it's Legal Monitor who are publishing it.
Sorry, Legal Monitor.
Legal Monitor.
Lovely. Okay. And anybody wants any more information or get in touch with you can get in touch via the website, which is theknowledgebusiness.co.uk.
That's right. Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Helene, you've been a star. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, you're very welcome. It's been good to talk to you.
Good luck with not only finishing the book, but the sales of the book. We'll, as I say, we'll make a note of that on our podcast notes and people can follow through and see what happens.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Helene. Take care.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye-bye.